We are back here at DreamHack Austin as Big E says, don't you dare be sour, as you have to feel the power from Naventic as we go on to Towers of Doom. I love it. I absolutely love it. All right, it is time, boys. That is going to be our second map here going forwards. Naventic already looking good in this best of 3 to start things off. A good showing from them, but it was close. It was very close. Let's take a look at the vetoes from this map series so far between these two teams, of course, as we had the starting off with Towers, Tomb of the Spider Queen being banned out and Garden of Terror. Infernal Shrines went over to Naventic just barely, and now we go on to Towers of Doom as our second map. Boys, I'm hype. I'm hype and I'm hype and I'm excited. I love Towers of Doom. And we could probably see a very, very close game once again here.
We haven't seen much Dahaka at all, and this is the time to bust it out. I want to see them bring Dahaka to the table because there's so many places where the Brush Stalker gets mega value.
We haven't seen much Dahaka this weekend, and it makes me sad because he's a lot of fun. But that's what happens when the warrior pool is just so has so much depth to it. There's just so many good warriors. I mean, it's hard to not want to play even a hero like Joanna in a lot of situations.
It's like the ultimate game changer in any of these maps that have these objectives that require a channeling or anything like that. And I think this is a perfect fit for him, as you said, Jake.
Yeah, and don't get me started on how ridiculous he gets at 20 with Apex Predator. Yeah. That's
yeah.
the most fun I have in this game, actually. Aside from Trogal, because I'm in love with Trogal, but that's beside the point. Can you love 2 people? Yeah, you can love a lot of people. Okay, so let's take a look at our next map. Of course, it being Towers of Doom. Jake.
Okay, Towers of Doom is a little bit unique in the sense that you cannot attack the core directly. The core is actually protected by, well, massive walls that will completely rip you apart. There are 6 altars that can spawn, 6 bell towers that can be collected, and there can be up to 3 altars at a time. The first phase of the altars will be 3, 2 on the top and then 1 in the bottom, and then of course at the 5th phase will be 3 as well. Now collecting these altars will bombard your opponents based on how many bell towers you control. At the start of the game, that is going to be 4 damage, but if you manage to destroy those forts, the bell towers, you'll get even more damage for your team. The sappers also are completely unique for this map as they will dive and explode onto the towers doing huge structural damage, but if they make it over the finish line, as I like to call it, they will actually do core damage. One way to do damage to the core. The Headless Horseman is the boss, much like the Grave Golem for this map, but instead of marching down the lane, he will just do a flat 4 damage to the core of the enemy team, and it's really all about min-maxing the mercenaries. Now these camps, they spawn very quickly. The control of the objectives is critical across the map, and having good global presence is also a very common thing.
Yeah, oftentimes why you see, I mean, even things like Sonya and Illidan preferred exceptionally. I mean, of course, they're always preferred anyway, but cleaning up those camps very fast, being able to go elsewhere, and of course, we can't go without mentioning the Vikings being oh so strong on a map like this.
It's one of the most common first bans that we see on this map at the highest level of competition. They're so afraid of going against Lost Vikings on this map.
We can say Fanplay Vikings, for sure. Yeah. It's definitely on the table.
Now, what I love to see is a potential Falstad ban coming out from Naventic. We already know that they love running Falstad, but on this map particularly, even in Cloud9, we saw them put early prioritization into the Falstad.
All right, we have got the draft ready for game number 2 here between Gale Force and Naventic as we go right on into things. And it will be Tassadar and Falstad. No Vikings ban, boys.
Look at the double respect. They're saying, all right, Raffle and Michael Udall both a massive threat on Falstad, and Fan just completely ruined us with
nailed
Tassadar.
that one, man.
I'm so proud of you, Zoya.
Thanks, man.
Happy birthday.
I hate you.
Illidan, the first pick on the side of Naventic. Gale Force now has 2 picks. Of course, they're going to be thinking about global presence being an option, but additionally, Gale Foss, Li Ming. We've seen a lot of Li Ming out of Gale Force in general.
I don't think it'll be a surprise if we see Li Ming at all, although Gale Force, or excuse me, they looks like they might be going into Kael'thas. Obviously, the poke potential from Li Ming is there when you talk about the amount of range on her abilities, but going into Kael'thas they're hovering ETC. This is not out of the question that we might see a stage dive.
Yeah, the global presence, the global is really nice on this map. It's interesting to see no Vikings.
No, indeed, not yet. But I mean, even the validation for the stage dive, if it does come along, something that is very important on this map as well is interruption capability. Getting ETC wherever you want him to be at any particular time is actually quite good as long as your team's going to follow you up.
I do want to compliment the Illidan pick just in this map in general. It's such a large playground for Illidan to run around and just kind of have a good jolly old time flipping over things. This is definitely one of his stronger maps. We could see the Abbot they're picked up here for Naventic. It's not out of the question.
We just saw Akaface on there. He's a killer Brightwing player. We talk about mobility, global mobility. I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see Brightwing out once again.
Great versus Illidan, too.
Yeah, it could be banned even, honestly.
Yeah, could be. It could be banned. You never know here. As, it definitely is one thing that they may end up targeting. Naventic now wanting to complement their Illidan. They might want to go down the path of Rehgar even early here, just in case that they would be worried about Gale Force taking that away from them. It is a little bit more unconventional to see this early, but with an Illidan there, you never know.
Well, will be Li Ming picked up, denying that pickup for Crowan. We know that, of course, Fan is a phenomenal Li Ming player.
You know, one of the more interesting things is we've actually seen Rafflecopter on Kael'thas. I wonder what they're going to use in their rotation when they talk about that back line. Obviously, you know, Rafflecopter's more their flex player to go around. Will we see Crowan on Kael'thas now that Li Ming is off the board, and what type of rotation? But looking at Naventic, it looks like they're going to go ahead and pick up a support hovering over Uther here.
Not something that you often see paired with the Illidan unless it goes through to mid-tier, past the mid-tier bans. Usually, if it's in the early stages of the draft, if you have an Illidan, 90% of the time we see Rehgar.
The reason I like this is if Uther's a good response to Illidan, so they could be trying to ban Brightwing. Those are the two supports that probably deal with Illidan the best. So if you control one, ban the other, give them Rehgar. It's not like Rehgar is going to control Illidan that well until he has Earth Grasp at 16.
Just so you guys know, if we don't see Vikings banned or not picked at all in this game, my DMs are going to go insane from people in Europe being like...
We're tilting Europe right now.
Yeah.
Just
so you know.
They're still very much on the table at this point.
All right, well, we are just waiting for Gale Force to decide what they want to do. I think Naventic kind of has the majority of the damage that they actually want on the table, so where would they go? Maybe isolating something like a warrior pick here? What would you think?
I mean, if you want to target Zuna a bit, you can. You can go for that Muradin ban, and he played Muradin phenomenally last game. And we've seen him playing Muradin phenomenal all weekend. He's been getting solo kills even without the Thunderstrike, right? But it looks like they're hovering Sylvanas right now, and yeah, Sylvanas would pair great with this composition. So, you know, I can respect the Sylvanas ban here. Team Naventic, will it be that targeted Brightwing ban? They've already denied one global, 2 Gale Force Esports. They may go for another.
I agree with Jake and Zoya. I feel like this has to be a targeted ban. You guys talked about already about how well she deals with Illidan, and this is Akaface's, you know, favorite hero on a map that favors global mobility. Or...
I mean, Sonya's not a bad ban, but I definitely
Sonya's really good versus Illidan.
Good versus Illidan, good at doing the camps quite quickly.
Can sustain for a long time when fighting over altars. I mean, Sonya's a great hero, but I mean, Akaface gonna get his comfort pick. I'd be shocked to Brightwing. There it is.
Instantly covered.
No surprises there.
It's just kind of weighing your, like, what is the worst one of the two, right? Like, which one would be better? Yeah, exactly. Pick your poison.
I mean, with Sonya off the board, Illidan up there, there's two options to try and fit that melee role. Obviously, Zul's there, but if we look away from Zul, there's Thrall, and there's also Zeratul. We saw Rafflecopter have a few issues on Thrall last game, positioning-wise, and positioning on this map is key when you talk about fighting for those altars. So I'm really curious what they're going to rotate into.
This is a lot of CC. This is so much CC on the end of Gale Force Esports. Every hero on this has a way to blow up the Illidan, and with the Hunter's Mark as well, they could really do some work.
And again, Owl build for Tyrande for me is almost invaluable on a map like this.
So
if you're able to interrupt.
So good, yeah.
Well, are we going to fully tilt Europe?
Probably. At this point, probably. Muradin getting locked in potentially here for Team Naventic, and Greymane to finish things off. All right, that's quite the lineup.
Yeah, full tilt for Europe. No lost Vikings picks here on Towers of Doom. Zeratul will be locked in as the final pickup for Gale Force.
Oh, I can't wait for my DMs to go angry in a minute. Oh,
I'm sorry, Bakery.
Why do you have to do this to me?
We've seen this composition used versus Gale Force Esports before. It was done by Cloud9 recently in one of the qualifiers, where Cloud9 ran Zeratul Brightwing. They used the aggressive plays where you teleport onto the Zeratul while he's stealth, and suddenly you feel like you're safe, and then, you know, there's two people killing you.
Yeah, so those are the lineups. It's interesting to see how this is going to play out. Of course, Void Prison actually is extremely powerful on this map too. I mean, the thing is, it's extremely powerful everywhere, so why am I even saying this? But like, the fact that it does offer you so much control in this instance, and even with the amount of follow-up for Brightwing shields on towards Zeratul, he's actually nowhere near as vulnerable as he normally would be here with the supports that he has, I feel.
Tyrande increased range on that Lunar Flare at 7. We've seen some epic plays in the past with Tyrande, and you talked about the potential Owl build coming out as well. I feel like the interrupt potential, we saw this yesterday, the delay. Gale Force, I like their draft. Naventic, I like them both. It's good drafting all the way around.
That's actually a great point that you bring up. I mean, even Zeratul that we saw in that Cloud9 game was a great delayer with not only Wormhole, but also Vorpal Blade to actually use that kind of things. And also, Zeratul has a really good time jumping between the back parts behind bell towers to be able to, he has so much mobility on this map. I would say more so than most because of how the structure of his is in this map. It's very, very good.
Yeah, the draft is very anti-Illidan. They didn't go too all in on the Illidan style. So I actually kind of like that. I just think it's going to be a challenge. You think it's going to be fan playing Illidan this game?
Yes, absolutely. And that's why I have my opinion that I do.
You have the faith?
I have my faith.
You have the
I
faith?
have faith in Fan.
And Fan is an absolute monster. We saw it in the last game playing Tassadar, incredibly flexible, probably the most talented person in the tournament at this point, in my opinion. I think Fan is just, he's leveled up to be an absolute monster. He's the most decorated player in all of competitive Heroes. Heroes of the Dorm, BlizzCon, you name it. And he's won it.
As you say, he's not afraid, or he has mentioned before, he is not afraid to play an Illidan against this much stun on this side, which is the most important part because he knows he's confident going up against that kind of lineup. But anyway, we are on towards predictions before we get into Towers of Doom, and we will start with Zoya.
Well, I am looking at Gale Force Esports composition. They have a lot of CC. They are lacking a cleanse, as Brightwing, you just don't take cleanse on her.
Right.
And I really like the synergy this composition has, but I'm not going to use my prop. I'm going to give it to Naventic.
Okay,
No
Naventic.
little plushy thing today.
Jehao?
Naventic is just too strong. Any comp, any opposition, too strong. They're taking it 2-0 here.
Jake. Shake.
Naventic has this. It's, you know what, this map, Illidan, is just too powerful. I really think they have what it takes to go all the way. They're looking good. They're coming off a win. Gale Force got close. They worked so hard, but it's gotta be discouraging to lose after such a long game in game 1. And now they've got to deal with fans Illidan? Hello?
It's tough. It is tough. I agree.
This is not an easy one. This was not an easy one.
No. Especially with that. I'm probably going to just be a casual European and say the other side. Even though I think Naventic's probably going to win, I'm going to go with Gale Force because I want to see a game number 3, boys.
Me too.
All right.
That would be the dream.
All right, we are going over to the casters. It will be Jehao and Zoya bringing you into Towers of Doom. Take it away, boys.
Zoya heading into game number 2. We just saw Naventic and Gale Force in an epic game 1 battle. We've seen some killer games on Towers of Doom, which is going to be map number 2 here.
Yeah, so excited for this. Now, we do need to take into account that yesterday Cloud9 played Naventic on this map, and they didn't have the best of showings, but let's go ahead and introduce our teams on the left-hand side of the map. They are down 0-1, and they need your energy. Make some noise for Gale Force Esports. Michael Udall on Zeratul, Rafflecopter on Tyrande, Crowan playing Kael'thas, Akaface on Brightwing, and Fury playing ETC.
And on the red side, make some noise for Team Naventic. That is going to be Uther, played by Kenma. Murden once again on Zuna. Illidan is not going to be played by Fan. Let's get them out of there. Fan's going to be on Li Ming, McIntyre on Illidan, and Greymane going to be wrapped up there by Big Impact.
There's no way we can predict their role swaps at this point.
I know.
They're just going to do whatever they want. Let's take a look here at this game, and I'm really interested to see this DC coming out. There's the follow-up. Murden getting very low, and Zuna, very quick first blood.
Well, we talked about the amount of CC that this team does have, and it shows. It doesn't matter the target. It's not going to matter the target through the game as they're continuing the target here. As you can see, another polymorph. That's triple stun coming out onto Kenma. As you can see, the flame strike in return takes down Kael'thas, and down goes Zeratul
and
as
they're
well.
not done. They've got Fury, gets the power slide. He's an inch from death, but they secure the kill. A 3-for-1 exchange in favor of Naventic.
I mean, just turning that around, I mean, things looked bleak, but I mean, just the back and forth. This is one of the troubles that you run into when you first run to that middle lane.
Yeah, it's just such aggression, and that's something I love watching from Naventic is they know how to fight at level 1. They know their matchups on which end is going to come out top, even when they lose one member.
Well, we do see the rotations. Teams splitting out now, continuing to look for a pick. We see the Dwarf Toss over is going to miss that Stormbolt. Crowan retreating, coming back, looking for a poke. And it does look like Gale Force is going to be able to survive this. Michael Udall just rotating around, looking for these picks. And the Flame Strike coming out. We're just going to see early lane phase. Again, as Jake pointed out, with this map, the recent change, the stun does come out to Crowan, but Fury sliding in on ETZ. The recent change, which makes this so interesting, first altar spawn, 3 altars.
Yeah, and that makes it a heavy contention point. Making sure you have 4 at an advantage is very helpful. Now, I want to talk about the Zeratul build. We're not seeing the normal regeneration on this tier. We're going to go for the cleave build. So, Michael Udall changing it up a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's often been referred to recently as that Korean build because it's been made so popular, especially at Worlds. But we do see a little bit of contention down at the bottom where we see the rotation possibly looking for a pick coming around. Again, 2 altars top, 1 bottom, as we see Zeratul already scouting out down at the bottom.
It just comes down to who do you think has the better fight at this tier, and it looks like it's going to be Naventic with a split here. They've got Leeming in the top. Best to leave a fan up here as he can stall this out with Zuna for a long time. Great zoning coming out from Big Impact, and it's going to be 2 shrines being taken so far. Still the defensive side here for Naventic with this one, and they should be able to secure themselves this. Oh, Big Impact not afraid to be aggressive there.
Yeah, Michael Udall going in, trying to at least ward them off a little bit to dismount to keep them from rotating up. But the gravity lapse coming out, the flame strike there. The polymorph follow-up. Zuna is going to be able to stay alive. And now they're trying to return the damage as the Lunar Flare lands again. And now we see Greymane going in, or that's Illidan going in there on Akaface, just barely able to get away on Brightwing.
I love how Zuna was just on the edge of death. I mean, it looked like he should have just left, and he just still stayed. He turned around with a Stormbolt, and he's still here. A lot of damage going down onto Fury. Amazing poke coming out from Li Ming. Michael Udall so far forward does have to blink in. Big Impact goes in for the dive. Gravity Lapse comes out onto him as well. Not going to be able to secure the kill. Great Lunar Flare, but Gale is going to fall. Michael Udall on the verge of death. Rafflecopter gets taken out by the globe. Blink from Michael Udall. Zuna and Big Impact are looking for him. Will they be able to secure the kill? Don't go in that little hole there, Michael.
Oh, Michael Udall able to survive, but not for much longer as he does finally go down. And that is the kills that they are looking for. Able to pick up 2 altars is Team Naventic.
Naventic up 8 shots to the 4 that they took. Really great skirmishing. You're not going to be seeing the dominance on Li Ming this time, as it's been kind of popular this weekend. I think the highlight, kind of, yeah. We've seen some amazing Li Ming plays with that talent. Oh, wow. I love Gathering Power, man.
Man, this is what you guys should be looking at. Zeratul build, cleave into Gathering Power at level 4.
Yeah.
He does get that extra ability damage for every hero takedown. If he dies, Zoya, all that's lost.
Well, he's already died once this game. Let's see if he can stop that from happening further, because you're right, it is very important that you do stay alive. Not going to be seeing the full Z build from Brightwing. We're going to be seeing, of course, Unstable Anomaly picked up at 4.
As Kalaris had pointed out, there's so much value in that Sentinel build coming out from Tyrande to be able to interrupt those altar channels. Again, you have to be able to go with those, and you go with that piercing. You go with that extra damage, possibly at 16. That can get huge value here on Towers of Doom.
Let's see here what Naventic plans to do to get into this game. Crowan is going to be here, but they do bait him out. They bait out Big Impact. He's going to take a lot of damage. He does what he can to Crowan to turn that around, but it's going to be an easy kill onto him. Great body blocking from McIntyre and Zuna, and that's going to be a kill for Naventic.
Brightwing not able to shift in quick enough, but we see the return stun going down. Zuna taking a lot of damage, but Michael Udall very low on the back end. Brightwing finally able to come in. The polymorph is going to help secure this kill. Can Zuna stay alive? He's able to dwarf toss before the flare lands there, Zoya.
He's going to live there, but we do see the turnaround onto Fan. A nice kill there, but will Rafflecopter go down? No, McIntyre is going to back up there, so an exchange in favor of Naventic just slightly.
I didn't realize this, but sneakily enough, they've already got 7 kills to Team Naventic.
Yeah.
We're only 5 minutes in. 7 kills. This is the Naventic that we're used to. The aggressive team fighting strategy. And when you talk about altars, the stun coming out here onto Akaface, who's going to be caught out, coming down. Nice party bush there by Naventic.
Really well done. They're trying to turn this around. Nice stuns onto Big Impact. He's taking a lot of damage. He doesn't have a healer with him, but he's going to live. They're turning this around the Raffle. And McIntyre is a body blocking king, but a great Lunar Flare from Raffle.
Yeah, that is huge right now because this is another altar that spawned, but up here in the top, Michael Udall under assault, trying to interrupt anything that Kenma has to be able to keep this. This is actually 2 altars here, and they're continuing to fight over the bottom as now both teams rotating. It is going to be a 5-on-5 here. Can Gale Force try and win at least 1 altar here?
Well, it's a full level lead for Naventic. They're in a fantastic spot, and the reason why they're in this is Naventic can go into a fight, and they know how to trade. It's not just trading damage, but they're willing to trade a life to secure extra kills, and that's what sets them aside. Michael Udall will get the cap, though.
Yeah, you saw the defensive gravity lapse just for zoning. I mean, just excellent play, being able to rotate out, making sure that nobody's coming through there. So Gale Force was able to grab another one to be able to keep the distance not too far, as we see a 4-point advantage on that core in favor of Team Naventic.
Yeah, but a 4-point advantage with a full level lead here. Naventic's in a great spot. Good dismount from Kenma. They're looking for Michael Udall, but he does blink back, avoiding the burst from Fan. McIntyre going to start doing some mercenary camps here, and they're very close to level 10. I'll be surprised if we saw anything too crazy with the heroics. I'm not expecting a Divine Storm this game.
Gale Force rotating over, looking for the possible flank. Kenma is going to be caught out here, and this is the stuns that we're talking about. That is going to be a kill on Kenma. That is exactly what Gale Force needed right here.
You have to respect the ETC Toronto. They're going to get kills, and you have to just always be mindful of that. You can't be that far in lane. If you don't have vision on the map of where Gale Force is, you need to be closer to tower. Stormbolt does not end up connecting with Okaface. Good dodge on his part.
Look at Brightwing's level 4 talent. Obviously, that is directed at Illidan there.
Yeah. Helps out quite a bit. Unstable Anomaly.
Well,
Wave of Force picked up from Li Ming. No shocker there, as usually versus the ETC, you almost always see Wave of Force at this point.
Yeah, Gale Force able to rotate that pick into a little bit of map control, so they're able to pick up 10 as well. So they're going to be able to match that. Nothing out of the ordinary when we look at those. But Michael Udall trying to scout out down here. We've seen that they've been able to find him as Zuna goes ahead and says, hey, don't worry, man, we see you.
So with these heroics, we do see that we both have Starfall and Phoenix. That's a lot of zoning capability, and that is very important on this map. If you recall the map yesterday where Cloud9 was on this map, they used their zoning, but we do have the Brightwing teleport in. They're going for Kenma. He's being burst down. The Polymorph is there. Divine Shield might save his life, though. Will the Gravity Collapse connect? Great dodge from Kenma, but will he go down? Living Well might be enough. Phoenix comes out, but he's not going to fall. At the same time, they kill Zeratul in the bottom lane.
I mean, that was a huge Divine Shield. It's not the way you want to use it, but he was able to survive. It allowed the team to be able to split to secure that kill, and now we're looking at another couple of altars that will just spawn. Zeratul may be back in time to help defend against one, but it's going to be up to Gale Force to try and defend here.
Beautiful, it's just survivability there from Kenma, keeping himself alive. And of course, the kill on Zeratul, going to keep things going. 9 kills to 4, and it's going to be a double shrine here. And Naventic, they're getting aggressive. They're willing to contest the one that Crowan's trying to cap right now. Li Ming with a little bit of poke is going to deny that for just a little bit. But it looks like McIntyre stalled out long enough to get his. Polymorph combo does go down. Zuna taking a lot of damage. No avatar pop just yet.
Yeah, the cleanse was there to be able to save him. We've seen the follow-up stun so far. We're seeing them get a little bit more on point with that cleanse to be able to avoid any of those stun locks and that burst damage that we've seen so far out of Gale Force.
Well, the point is still being contested. I love these rotations from Naventic, the soak lanes. They're just doing everything they can to maximize their experience. Will Okaface get the cap? And he does. It's a nice job from them reading that too many people were out. They go for a collapse onto Fang with the teleport on Brightwing to Zeratul. He does get the blink back. Nice heals from Kenma.
Juking all around now. Michael Udall is going to be the next to fall. Those gathering power stacks are gone. As Brightwing going to be the second. Can they get a third? It does look like they're going to back off. Zoya, is this an opportunity for a boss?
I think it's too early. Especially when there's still mosh pit available. If you get caught underneath that and you get mosh, you risk just too much. And Naventic today has been playing so safe. They haven't really been, even with their leads, I don't think we've seen them today. In both sets they played, they'll make anything like a super greedy call.
Well, you can see that they are continuing their rotations, already sending McIntyre down to the bottom lane, trying to circle around, possibly just soak up a little bit of experience. But the Pumpkin Sappers getting good value, hitting that top bell tower, getting some damage there, and that structural advantage. We talk about that in the map explanation from Jake. The more of those you have down and on your side, the more shots you get on your enemy's core.
Now this is Towers of Doom, so it's different than other maps. It doesn't matter how hard you stop the early game. If you get to the point where you can just kind of stall it out and get the momentum in your favor, it doesn't matter if you have 1 HP on your core. We've all seen it. Those comebacks are possible. So all they have to do is just kind of get their head back again. The stun goes out. The follow-up there from Uther is possible. Rafflecopter gets hit by the Brightwing teleport. Nice Divine Shield onto Zuna, and they're just going to back out.
Yeah, that is a fight they don't want to pick. This is the power of Brightwing we talked about, bringing that in for that global presence, and that face shield at level 7 does tend to help quite a bit. Pumpkin Sappers now pushing in the bottom lane again, forcing Gale Force to rotate over and trying to defend. This is very similar to game number 1, Zoe, in that while they're still close and they're starting to stretch their lead, Naventic in map control here.
Yeah, and that's very, very important. It's going to be a single spawn here in the middle. Now what right now is what Gale Force is doing is they're soaking top and middle at the same time. So they're going to have 13 soon. They're going to be able to contest this. And Okaface is getting good value here on the top lane, just abusing that global. Nice dodge from Michael Udall.
Yeah, that is the plays you like to see from the top level of competition. Brightwing, of course, staying up there as Zoya pointed out, but 13's here. We're going to see her phase shift in here in just a moment after that wave is cleared up. The minute this fight breaks out, look for Brightwing to teleport in.
Good zoning from Zuna. The Owl's not going to interrupt McIntyre. They're going to have to commit further for this. Zeratul blinks in from above, does wormhole out of there. Nice combo on the Zuna, he dwarf tosses out. Hasn't popped Avatar just yet, he might have to. He's getting so low, can they keep him alive? What a great body block from Kenma!
That was huge that Zuna's able to survive. Now the Void Prison has been used. They're looking to rotate over towards Big Impact. McIntyre able to avoid that stun there from the Lunar Flare, but McIntyre going in hard here on Illidan, Zoya.
Yeah, he's diving in deep. He does jump back to his ally. Zuna has healed up quite a bit. Teleport to Crow, and still no death. Still great zoning from both these teams. Fan has just been sieging away from a distance, but Akafe is going for a cap. They do interrupt it one more time. Good zoning from Fury so far. Zuna very far forward. The grab left combo's there, 100%, but we do have Avatar Divine Shield used.
Yeah, we saw the Owl sniff that out. Now they're continuing to be aggressive. Zuna going in. We do see the face mount able to body them off just a little bit as we see Gale Force repositioning. Kenma just channeling to at least bait them out to come in to fight, forcing them out.
That was a little bit of lack of coordination on the end of Naventic. They used 2 heroics for one situation where they only needed to use one or the other. They're going for the cap though. Kenma does not end up getting it. Nice interrupt at the last second.
Yeah, the Owl did miss the first time around. I'm not sure if they have yet another interrupt. Will we have the wormhole? The Phoenix does land. They didn't land in time. As we now see Crowan under assault here as Kel Thas goes down. But the mosh pit has landed. Can they get the full up 2 members down? Can they get more here, Zoya?
They take a lot of damage. Rafflecopter's going to fall right now. It's a 2-for-2 exchange. They're looking for Michael Udall. He doesn't have mana on the face with the last second kill. Great power fight side from Fury, and they keep Michael Udall alive.
That was absolutely incredible, Zoya. The way that they were able to disengage a 2-for-2 exchange. But the fact that that came in, we're going to take another look at this, Zoya.
What a beautiful fight there coming out from both sides. This mosh pit is what kept Gale Force into this. The chain bomb's helping out a lot there. Unfortunately, though, without having Rafflecopter for the rest of this fight, with Michael Udall being so they could not capitalize more off of this.
This slide right there was a thing of beauty.
Fury playing so well this game. You're seeing how evenly matched these two teams are. This is such impressive play from Gale Force, despite being behind in momentum.
Yeah, you know, we still look the experience advantage firmly in favor of Naventic. About to hit level 16. The next altar phase still a little ways away, so it's a matter of who gains map control. As we see the boss already activated, they're going to sneak this in here, Zoya.
This is the kind of plays they need to make to just get momentum in their favor. They're sneaking in a boss. That's free shots for Gale Force Esports. Great shot calling.
Wow, that was a good play, but in that bottom, those pumpkin sappers are going to be pushing against that bottom bell tower
just trade,
of
tower
Gale
for tower.
Force, and that's going to go, and as you just called it, they're going to rotate up and instantly hop on that top one. They're going to back
they might
off.
not have time. This is good call. I love this from Naventic. This is, they're going to try and just get free core damage here, and will they go pressure mid? That's like what they're going to try and do, or at least shut down that top push.
Yeah, keep in mind, as we talked about before the game, those pumpkin sappers can do core damage if you can escort them past that front line towards that front wall. It doesn't look like they're going to do that, but that does force Michael Udall, and this is the 5th altar phase, which means 3 more.
It's so hard to reclaim these bell towers. It just forces your whole team to rotate, and that's why the Sylvanas ban is so key on this map. We talked about it yesterday. Sylvanas able to reclaim these honors, though, and the rotations from Naventic are so smart right now. They secure themselves a 2nd bell tower, meaning during the 3 bell tower phase, they're going to be up 4 forts to 2.
I mean, the amount of damage they do recapture one there does Gale Force, but they're at the bottom. Now we see Naventic rotating down. They are on even talent tiers, and Fury trying to rotate, but we do see the assault come in
Crow
on that
too
backside.
We get back dives on him. Akaface is there to try and keep him up, and a nice job keeping him alive for now. Good cleanse coming out, but Michael Udall and Fan in that 1v1, that might be Michael Udall coming out top, but Tyrande falls. Fan getting very low. Does he have the teleport to stay alive? He goes under tower. Michael Udall wants it, but he doesn't get it, and Zuna's there.
Wow, that was a misplay. Michael Udall gonna go down, 2 members down from Gale Force, and they are gonna be in trouble. They are gonna sacrifice at least 1 altar, but you talk about the amount of 5 shots gonna be coming out, 2 altars. If picked up by Naventic, that's gonna be 10 more damage going against Gale Force.
Really well done for Naventic here. I mean, they're just playing so well. You know, Crowan, good job with the decision to go cap that tower or that altar as you know, they knew they could not contest anymore, and Naventic now with a 2-level lead getting closer and closer to the Storm Talons, taking another bell tower as they're defending top. I mean, Naventic, once you get to this point where you have a bell tower, it's so hard to just not maintain control.
Yeah, the rotation here, especially when there's still a man down, waiting for Zeratul to spawn Tyrande back on the board. But Kel'Thas and Brightwing do secure the top bell tower. It's still 5-3. Naventic firmly in control of this map.
You see them controlling this point here, big impact. Doing a great job this game. We don't see Greymane much anymore, but he's one of the few players that can still play it, and you feel, you know, Greymane's still a good hero.
Yeah, it just requires, it's a little bit more difficult to play Greymane than in the past. No more nuke as they called it, but we see Zuna diving in. They have the pumpkin sappers. They're trying to get the damage here, Zoya. They're starting to escort them up, and this is going to be very tough to defend against.
Nice damage going on to both Zuna and Fan. They're going to back up, and they're really making it a difficult situation for Kenma to try and survive. They're trying to get these minions into the tower range, but Michael Udall dives in. Lunar Flare does not connect. Polymorph has been used. A good 3-man VP. Can they kill Big Impact on it? But Michael Udall's going to fall instead.
Yeah, he does, and now we see Metamorphosis being used on that backside. We do see the Divine Shield already popped there, not able to land anymore, but that is going to be the death of another member of Gale Force, as they do not, I did one sneak past there. I think one might have got past.
One got through. So something pivotal happened in that moment. Mosh Pit went down as Michael Udall was dying. He was not able to cancel the Void Prison, and that's why there was that overlap there. A lot of damage going on to Akaface. He does blink heal back. He is going to be fine. It's a single altar spawn, so the game won't end here.
I mean, the scary part is Naventic is in such control. They have 5 shots that are going to be coming out. The Owl coming out, sniffing out McIntyre, but too little, too late. They're going to be able to get a bell tower back here if this isn't channeled, because there's still 10 seconds before that spawns. But Naventic just hit 20.
Let's see here what Naventic plans on doing. I mean, these rotations, they lose a bell tower, they take a bell tower. They're always going to maintain this 1-up lead. And because members of Gale Force were dead for so long, it's 18 versus 20. Naventic is going to get this altar, and that's they're basically at checkmate. If they get any more shots on core, that's game.
Yeah, I mean,
and they have these minions are trying to escort in. It's not enough though. They would need one more.
Yeah, that's 3 that's going to be pushed in, but this
they just died.
Okay, yeah, okay, that bell tower was reclaimed, so those sappers go in, help secure those shots, but Zuna going in with a Stormbolt, but Fury coming in with the power slide. The damage starting to come in, has been cleansed out. Zuna is going to continue to be aggressive as he stays in there. Starfall returning some damage, but having to back off because Fury very low on health. It's
amazing how aggressive Zuna's willing to be when Avatar is not up. It just came off cooldown as they backed out of there. He was taking so much damage. I don't have Avatar. I don't care. They're not going to kill me.
Zuna very aggressive, and you can see now they're going to try and rotate this. They're continuing to push Gale Force against the wall. They have the talent tier advantage, and now the Pumpkin Sappers are rotating down.
Yeah, they do get a lot of damage though. Divine Shield used early on Big Impact. We do see Fury getting blown up, but a 4-man mosh pit. Polymorph goes out. Phoenix comes out. That's going to be death of Fury. Greymane's going to go down as well. Michael Udall trying to secure a kill onto Zuna, but he's going to be very healthy in that Avatar state. A 1-for-1 exchange so far.
Yeah, the Void Prison came out, but not before Li Ming was able to get some shots off, and you can see the damage, but now they're following up. Akaface is going to go down here. Michael Udall, will he be the next to fall as he's continuing to be poked?
Oh,
Fan is going to be very low, getting the heal. Li Ming does go down.
Crowan showing the power of Kael'thas post 16. They have 20 tier now. They have to contest this point. It's a 3 versus 3. They still have 1 support up with Tyrande. Oh, but with Michael Udall and Rafflecopter backing right now, do they have enough time to get down there? They do have the owls to stall it out, so they should be able to. They just have to get there now.
This is
but they have to go through
moment.
A tower that slows them down.
Wow. Tyrande is going to have to land a perfect owl here, 5 seconds away from this next
altar spawn. And Michael Udall's going top. He thinks they're on boss. Oh, this might be checkmate, guys. They're looking for it. They're trying to scout them out. 3 members on the bottom point. They take the slow rotation. The owl interrupted once, but McIntyre's going to get it. That's GG. Naventic's in the grand finals. That was a really great set. Congratulations to Naventic with that 2-0 victory, but we can't take anything away from Gale Force Esports. They made a bunch of fans today.
I think all weekend long they were a team to root for. Every single one of their teams or teammates, they're friendly, they're likable, they have confidence, they have skill. This is not the last we've seen of them. Absolutely. They still have another regional, another chance to qualify, and I like their chances going forward.
Naventic looking pretty happy right now, giving each other hugs. Of course, they're going to go over. They've been playing against these guys on Gale Force for a long time, but Naventic, man, they really are showing up today. They look almost like a different team compared to what we saw yesterday.
Yeah, a completely different team.
Man, I wanted to see Game 3, but at the same time, Naventic very much so deserving of that victory. Once again, for the most part, absolute control, especially towards the end. Having Gale Force only being in a position where they have 1 keep, 1 bell tower, so difficult to come back from any kind of situation like that on Towers of Doom once Naventic have had such power throughout.
Yeah, and I want to say, like, I don't know if they played mind games on everyone. Everyone's going, oh, McIntyre's so afraid of playing Illidan right now. That's all I kept hearing from his teammates and from enemy teams. And You know, so they end up putting McIntyre and Illidan. He dances around everywhere. He looks like a beautiful little gymnast. And then Fan went to town on Li Ming and just shredded through everyone. And it worked out very nicely. I mean, that was a convincing game.
Yeah, Naventic had full control. And it all comes down to being able to secure yourself that one bell tower. Once you have a single bell tower, it just becomes this trade-off where if you're doing rotations properly, if you're kindly just pressuring other lanes, once you take a bell tower, if they go to reclaim it, you just take another one. And we just never saw a situation where Gale Force could maintain their 3 bell towers.
The amount of pressure that they put on them, Zoya started calling it. The minute that went down, as you just said, I've never seen a team be so aggressive. They did not let up.
Yeah.
They did not let up a single moment. It was incredible.
I think it comes, for me, during the draft, it comes back to the very first ban that they had, which was False Dad. If you're able to take that away when you're playing this kind of style as Naventic, if you're able to take away that Gus potential, again, in a similar vein to how MVP Black plays, you always know that you are going to be able to control the fights if you believe that you are mechanically sound against your opponents, and you're not going to have to worry about that potential disengage from your opponents. And they did it every single time. They kept in those fights, and they were able to snowball through.
Yeah, they almost made it work, though. I mean, they had the mosh pit. They also had the Void Prison, and there were some pretty big moments. We could actually take a look at one of those earlier mosh pits. We even had the instant replay during that cast. Was quite impactful, so some huge damage went out through here. Obviously, Zuna gets super low in the back line. Still going to live through this, but the fight will carry on. Zuna, the body block's godlike in that moment. VP goes down on a single target. They're trying to seclude this. The fight continues on. Huge damage in the back, but just keep watching for the mosh pit. I'm pretty sure it comes eventually. We're going to see, again, just the kind of disengage. Now, the right wing does end up phase shifting in, and there totally wasn't a mosh pit there.
That was a completely different fight that you're remembering. So 2 different situations. This happened after.
I'm pretty sure we can show another replay as well, and maybe there'll be a mosh pit. Who knows? It's 50-50 at this point.
This is the one to remember, Jake.
This is it, yeah. All right, so watch the left side of the map here, right? You can see this whole engagement going down, and then the dive. We see Naventic going pretty deep, but here comes Fury. Power slides in and lands that money mosh, locking down 3. This was almost enough to turn things around, but with great damage control, it ended up being pretty even trades at the end of the day. Michael Udall barely surviving due to a clutch polymorph from Akaphase at the end. I think it was a 3-for-3 trade.
I'm glad we got there in the end, of course. And speaking of which, I actually didn't even see him slip in there. That was impressive. We do have Big E here. Hello, fellow. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah? Oh, that nice and close to your mouth.
I'm doing good.
Yeah. That's booming, that is. All right, well, congratulations, obviously, for moving on to the grand finals. I just want to kind of open up with the first one. Was it expected? I mean, Gale Force looked pretty good yesterday, and they're definitely on the rise. But you guys, especially with your new inclusion into the team since Spring Championship, have been looking good yourself. So was it expected? What was going through your head?
We came into this pretty confident, like, based off scrim results and what we know, everything worked out like what we thought we thought it would go.
Okay. And actually, I want to talk about your inclusion in the team now. How has it been working out for you? How have you been meshing? Because from what I see, it's going very well, actually.
Yeah, I like the team a lot. Like, it sucked that I had to play against my former teammates on both teams,
right.
Panda and Gale Force, but I mean, this is my team now, and I'm pretty happy. Like, it's good.
Okay. Questions?
Yeah, today it just feels like a completely different team than we saw yesterday. I mean, you had a very mixed result set versus Panda Global. Of course, you fell 0-2 to Cloud9. But today, you guys just look unstoppable. Is there like a difference in mentality today after day one?
Last night we went back to the room and we watched replays and then we talked about it and we figured out what we did wrong and what we did right, and we were just watching every single team, and I think we figured it out last night.
So after the games with Cloud9, you guys are saying, we're hiding strats. You're just trying to keep everything under wraps. Are you still hiding strats? You got some more secrets for us that you can't tell us yet? You don't have to tell us, don't worry.
It's all in the brain of Zuna and Ken.
Oh, okay. They don't even tell you.
They're not letting you in on the secrets?
The NDA on their strats is just so hard that even teammates
You're the
can't
new
get
guy.
Only the drafter alone. So Big E, no, not allowed. Any questions more over there?
I like the fact that you fit in so well. I mean, there was a little bit of a rotation. They made room for you. They rotated the roles. I mean, how have you seen the team evolve since you've been there? I mean, you witnessed it. You've played against them. You know the names. But you fitting in there, does it just seem natural?
It feels pretty good. Like, it took a while adjusting, but once we adjusted, it was perfect.
All right.
All right, cool. Well, thank you very much, Big E, and good luck moving on into the grand finals, obviously. Rooting for you and looking good there. All right, so that does it. We can take a look at the brackets to check in on what has gone down thus far and also what is to come as well, as we do see Naventic taking the 2-0 in that best of 3 against Gale Force. No doubt we'll be seeing Gale Force down the road as well. And then, of course, now our next semi-final coming up will be Cloud9 going up against Cognitive. This is going to be a good one for sure.
Fun fact, it seems that Cloud9 and Cognitive hit in the semifinals of almost every single tournament we go to. They play against each other a lot in the round of 4.
And how does that normally go?
At LAN events, Cloud9 wins.
Yeah, almost always, right?
Yeah.
In a live scenario. But this is Cog's turn to try to tap the heat and take that title into the grand finals. Now, for this regional, yes, only one team advances into summer, whereas last season it was 2 teams that advanced into summer. We have 2 regionals this year, but I don't know. The stakes are high.
Yes, they are.
As much as Naventic has looked like a different team, Cognitive has looked much stronger today as well.
They've definitely studied, and I know they spent a long time doing that last night because I talked to a few of the players. They every event we see almost for some reason Cognitive always does poorly day 1. They're able to reassess themselves, they're able to study well that night, and day 2 they always show up. Let's see if they can show up enough today, though.
Okay, they're going to have to, because they're going up against a pretty strong Cloud9 after what we saw from them against Naventic. Don't forget to go over to gear.blizzard.com and redeem your 15% off voucher for all Heroes of the Storm related things. With the code located below, once again, as our lovely assistant here was able to provide you with down there. I'm like an airplane instructor to be telling you where the exits are of all of this. But for now, we're going to take an exit over to a break, and then when we are back, it's our second semi-final of the day. It's going to be Cloud9 going up against Cognitive.